Good morning, and it appears to be that time of the week where a young man's thoughts turn once again to that of playing old arcade games from the 1980s by Sega about Japanese prime ministers that have been disgraced. Yes, it is the RetroTech 120p challenge, and today is my pick, which is I'm Sorry, a fairly unknown Sega game, which is a bit of a clone of Pac-Man, and I shouldn't run out of things to say about it today. You should check out some videos by the likes of Slopes Game Room, who did a good overview of this a few years ago now, but it explains it far better than I'm about to. So it's called I'm Sorry because it is about a very apologetic Prime Minister who did some naughty things back when he was in office in Japan. Of course, nothing like that would happen here, would it? Yeah. So, yes, I'm Sorry also means, and if you spell it S-O-R-I, is the Japanese word for a Prime Minister. So, the story is that this guy we're playing here, who's going around grabbing gold and then running into his house and the town hall in various levels, is a guy called Koiki Tanaka, who was Prime Minister from 1972 to 1974. Now, Mr. Tanaka basically got bribed by Lockheed, along with a few other world leaders at the time, or certainly ones that attempted to or were tempted to be bribed by Lockheed in order for his country to favour the planes of Lockheed over that of McDonald's. And when I say McDonald's, I mean McDonald's, not the Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald has nothing to do with it. So yeah, basically he was found guilty after being arrested in 1976 by two local courts, although the Supreme Court had his case open when he died in 1993. So basically, yeah, what happened is this: he basically accepted a bribe for his country to take on the plane contract for Lockheed as opposed to McDonald's, and well, what a naughty boy. So I would imagine this level here, where we're wandering around, not only taking gold, but it appears to be, and I'm not sure if they're safes, because they've got like gold in them as well. I suspect that they're supposed to be televisions, and he's trying to punch away the old coverage. This game features a few celebrity cameos as well. The guys following you around in the sunglasses, I think, are just standard FBI agents, although there is some thought they could be a Japanese comedian whose name escapes me. But if they catch you, which I think one of them will do at some point, they give you a damn good spanking with a whip. Poor old Mr. Tanaka, unless he's into that kind of stuff, which he might well be. The guy running around in the shorts is quite tall. That is Giant Baba, who is a very famous puro wrestler, who had his own, I can't remember which one he owned now. It was New Japan or Pro Wrestling Noah. Someone will correct me in the comments below. But yes, he's a very famous wrestler, very tall guy, big old unit, and when he catches you, he will give you a backbreaker or two, and he takes a few more hits than the guys in the sunglasses. The barrel is homing. Seemingly, it won't leave you alone. It pretends to not follow you, and then will all of a sudden change direction, which is frightening when you think about it. So yeah, even though it was my pick, you'd expect me to pick something that had animals in it. However, I didn't. This game doesn't have animals in it, which means, how am I supposed to do the genital fact of the week? Well, let's talk about the Japanese macaque, one of the most famous animals that's indigenous to Japan, possibly, you know, the native animal of choice, certainly in my choice, because it's got several interesting penile facts and vaginal facts. In fact, this week we're more predominantly lady parts disposed as opposed to male. The Japanese macaque, during the mating season, the face and genitals of the male, they redden and the tail stands erect. Now, to match this, the lady macaques, they have their faces and their vaginas also turn a different colour. That to scarlet, so they go even redder. I tend to do that when I'm a little bit embarrassed by looking at someone else's genitals. But this is not the end of our genitalic tale. Japanese macaques, apparently, the female ones tend to lean towards the fairer sex. They aren't preferentially homosexual, though, or heterosexual. They tend to be bisexual. Which is an unusual thing, I think, in the animal kingdom. And they're known to, also the lady macaques, they tend to cackle during copulation, whereas the males stay quiet, possibly because they're chuffed that that his missus hasn't copped off with his mum, I'm guessing. The life of the lesbian Japanese macaque there. Have I run out of things to say? No, sirree. I can tell you about this game more. So, yes, it was developed by Corland, who are now known as Banpresto, and they don't really make games as much anymore. Other games you might have seen by them for various companies include Pengu, which I think they did for Sega, Wek Le Mans, which was maybe Konami, and they did the Game Boy and Super Nintendo iterations of Puyo Puyo when they were Banpresto as opposed to Corland. They were called Huawei before or something like that. Not Huawei as in the mobile phone. And I might have said that. I've probably butchered a lot of Japanese names here today. And I should be ashamed, but I'm not. I'm still living off the absolute high of finally winning another Retrotech 120p challenge, that being final round. I got my boxing gloves on and fisted a load of men until I emerged sweaty in triumph. This is from 1985. What were you doing in 1985? Incredibly, you wouldn't think this game would have been translated anywhere, but they did release it in America. What the Americans made of it, I don't know. They must have thought it was a quirky thing. And it is quirky in a way, and there are a few cameos in this game, not only from people like Giant Baba, but later on you do get a visit from Michael Jackson, who you might have seen in the little pre-roll at the beginning. Madonna is in the game, or, I don't think they're officially licensed. I don't know if they went, yeah, I'll be in your game about a disgraced Japanese Prime Minister who sold contracts illegally to, or bought contracts illegally from Lockheed. Yeah, I'll be in that. Madonna, I can imagine her in 1985 completely agreeing with that. They're in it. Carl Lewis, isn't it? If you remember Carl Lewis. Although he's a lot whiter in this. I think he's on the pre-credits roll if you rewind back to the beginning. But Carl Lewis, if you remember, I think is, and my memory doesn't serve me probably very well here, I think he was a disgraced Olympics runner, or, hurdler or something like that. I can't remember it very well. Again, if you could tell me in the comments, that would be great. If you can't be bothered, I can understand that. You might have already switched off. Incredible that this was translated across, really, isn't it, to America? Heaven knows why. And doing all right at it. It depends, really, on how everyone else does, to how far I get. You might pick up a few tips here. In fact, let's be nice. I won last week's one. Maybe I shouldn't win this week's one. If you do have your go after this and you've watched this, if you wish to get far in the game further than me, you can combine skill with a bit of luring. So what you do is, if you go to the top or the bottom of the screen, as you can see, the screen loops round. Now you can tempt people towards you, so you can tempt the barrel and the various bad guys towards you if you go up to these bits, and then you can just pop through the little shortcut and then appear on the other side of the screen, and they have to then run all the way to where you are. So there you go, there's a little tip for you. Don't say I don't do anything for you. So in terms of the game, if you're going to play it as well, it has 32 stages, 4 maps, which I think we do see all 4. This is the 3rd one, isn't it, at the moment? But they add bits to them each time from here on in. So the first map will then come back up as level 5, but it will have an extra either an extra villain on it or an extra obstacle. You get things like conveyor belts. As I said, Madonna and Michael Jackson all turn up with Carl Lewis. Seems a weird sentence to say that, but yeah, this is level 4, but it loops around. It adds basically more stuff to it, makes it harder. So yeah, all in all, I hope everyone who plays this enjoys it. If you haven't joined in the Retro Tech Challenge, you should basically join the Retro Tech 120p Challenge crew, and then put your imaginary 20p in and join in. You can do that right now. So thanks for watching, and that's it for today. Thanks, bye.